Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Lord of Mysteries is finally back, and I have to admit, I completely forgot the specials were releasing this year. I completely forgot this is a thing, and suddenly on my feed pops up Episode 1, City of Silver. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta watch this. Yes, for those that missed it, I watched Season 1, really enjoyed it. I covered it by episode, and just had a lot of fun covering it. I really did appreciate the support that people were kind of pouring out for me to watch that series. I eventually bought the books. I haven't got a chance to read them yet, but yes, I do want to continue to cover this series, and so sure enough, here we have it. It's up. I actually watched it, and I really, really enjoyed it. It covers Derek Berg. Yes, for those that don't remember, in Season 1, we had this little point where suddenly out of nowhere, Klein starts hearing a prayer from somebody that's not in a good situation, and suddenly he gets pulled into the whole Tarot Club, and he's asked which one he wants to be, and he's like, the sun, and that was it. We never talked about it again. It was like one of those moments of like, the next episode, I'm like, are we going to address this thing? Like, there's an elephant right here. Are we not going to address this thing? This dude appeared. But now we're finally getting into it. We're getting into his story, not really getting any further details about him from then on, but just seeing where he's from. And my gosh, the Forsaken Land of the Gods is, as the name implies, it is absolutely forsaken. This place is garbage. Now, I have a lot of theories around the place, and I don't remember, because it's been a year since the first season. I don't remember too much about what they actually explain with the place, other than the fact that a lot of people are trying to find it. That, yeah, they were trying to find those particular, Grozzel was trying to find those lands, and there was several references to it for the true creator. But I don't remember they've ever specifically got really into details about what happened there. But it seems to imply, through this little backstory, or at least from Derek's perspective, that this is a land that at some point the gods just forsaken it. They took away the sun from it, and it became just a land of darkness that is basically full of despair. That those that are taken by the darkness and despair are then, well, as we find out later on, sacrificed by those around you before that despair hits you, and those that aren't destroyed are able to carry on. And they're all constantly seeking to send out groups to try to, check nearby towns to try to find out some way of getting rid of this curse of darkness. And what's implying, the curse of the dead, that seems to kind of come up, that whenever individuals die, they're infected and then become something else. Which, again, I have my theories around that I'll get into in a minute, but let's just kind of go through the episode segment by segment so I don't forget anything like I typically do. Opening up the episode with, yes, a reminder of, everything that happened till now. My gosh, dude, when they open up the episode with Klein with his sister and brother, I'm like, oh, this hurts. What are we doing right now? Don't show me this. Don't remind me that he used to be happy with his family. Melissa was happy. Benson was happy. Klein was happy. But yes, it reminds us that, yes, he got to this world, and then at some point he tried to use the ritual again. He ended up in this fog area where he then meets these other two individuals, creates this, tarot club before, yes, at some point he has them gathering these pages, and one of them is talking about Grozzel trying to find this land of the Forsaken, and that's when he gets a prayer. A prayer from a Derek Berg. And then, yes, he pulls Derek Berg in there. And Derek Berg's pretty much like, oh my gosh, save me, please. Save my people, please. Are you a deity? And he's like, no, I'm just a fool that loves history. Please, I don't care what you are. Can you save my people? And that's when he gives him the opportunity of, yes, I can give you something. I can give you a powerful opportunity, but you have to pay a price equivalent to it. And then that's when he asks him which one he wants to be, which that would be, of course, the point which he chooses the sun. But yeah, this is where it gets into specifically Derek's life in this world. And it is not a pretty one. It implies that the place that he's from is like this desolate land where God has forsaken it, has taken away the sun itself. And they're all basically praying, hoping for the day that this God will then bring that light back, because from the darkness, pretty much monsters appear, and they've been destroying all the towns. Now, it does imply that this one last bastion of hope, the last remaining place alive, which is the City of Silver, that one remains standing, and it seems to be a lot to be implied that they have the existence, this last remaining blessing from the gods, which is this grass, the black-faced grass. I'm kind of wondering what that is about. I'm curious at some point if they'll get into specifically some god that gave that to them, or if this is some sort of ability they're creating, or if it ends up being some sort of like trade-off. Like it's a I mean, they do imply the idea that death is sort of a thing that helps things grow. And then you can also imply the idea they're using, human carcasses for the growth of this particular grass. Yes, corpses are a really good fertilizer. So I don't know if that's what they're kind of going for there, but yes, it shows him and he's there with his family. They're watching some dead person being taken away, and there's a woman falling behind after, looking not too happy. At first, when they kind of show this whole thing, I assumed it was going to be the case that she had just got done killing somebody that she wanted to kill. I didn't think they were implying that it was that individual that they were taking away that she killed, but yeah, as we see with the end of the episode, it seems like everybody, as the mother and the father kind of imply here, everybody has to experience it at some point. Everybody has to end up putting to death somebody around them in order, as like they imply it's sort of like a rite of passage. Like you cannot become a warrior until you've killed somebody that is close to you. Which, yes, sort of does imply to me at the end of this whole thing that what Tiffany did there was essentially purposely brought his family there so that he would have to kill them. Like, that was on purpose. She tried to make sure they got there. But yeah, they imply here that for the last 2,000 years, they've been sending out countless troops to explore the darkness in search of ruins of human civilization, all to find a way to remove the curse. For 2,000 years. Again, this is his Forsaken Land, which, I mean, this sort of gets into some of the crazy theories that I was having when Derek first showed up, is I had this thought process there of not so much of, like, the prayer itself being from another place, but another time. Like, I really did think that was a possibility that when they were in that particular area of the fog, that potentially prayers could come from different timelines. And so Derek, like way here in the past, was calling out for something, and he's going to pull him forward in time to talk to him. But no, they've just been in this place for 2,000 years, being in absolute darkness. But yeah, the only way they're really getting through this whole situation is through perseverance and the black-faced grass. Again, they imply there's other places that have just basically starved. But unfortunately, Derek makes one big, massive mistake. Despite the fact that he is happy with his mom and dad, there are these two expedition runners. They go out there and they look for stuff. The problem is that one day, Derek makes a massive mistake. He flags his parents, says they're his only lights, only light this darkness, and sends them off on the expedition where they end up getting infected and dying. Yeah, this is one of those moments where it seemingly was trying to give us this sense that Lovia was some sort of threat to the group. That there were some people implying that since she was a shepherd, she was somebody that consumes her teammates, consumed her husband. I don't think that's really going to be the case. It does look like she has some really nasty looking little kind of tentacle blob things that come out of her limbs, but I think it's just sort of, it's a power that doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. I mean, yes, it does seem to imply that by the end of this whole ordeal, when others are taken down, she does seem to finish them off by consuming them. So that could be part of her power, is consuming in general, but I don't think that this whole attack was her. I just think it was just, she finishes them off. Yeah, she consumes her people because they died. They lost. They failed. And yes, seemingly to keep them from turning, she's putting them out of their misery by consuming them. Which, yes, does sort of get into the question mark here, as, yes, Lovia, her team, Derek's mom and dad, they get attacked when they're out looking around. They end up finding a crystal ball at some point, but they get attacked. And on the way back, it seems that they didn't show signs of turning until they got close to the city, at which point she put them inside the cage and took them the rest of the way. Now, she brings them before the chief, which the chief is a warrior pathway sequence 4 demon hunter. And what it looks like he does is, it looked like he pulled the infection out of them, question mark? I don't know. I thought that he was putting them out of their misery by just removing the infection, but they're still infected when they get before Derek, question mark. Unless he stopped the spread of the infection, but they're pretty much already destroyed by that point. Like, they're already gone. Like, their brain has been so infected and destroyed that there's no coming back. But it's not going to spread because he destroyed the ability for it to spread. I don't know. It was kind of an odd sequence there of things that happen. Like, he pulls something out of them. I thought they died, but then Lovia goes and gets Derek, brings them before them, and they're still in the cage and still seemingly conscious. That's the sad thing there. But yeah, Derek apparently is, at the time in his classes, they're supposed to have this big ritual, this big harvest festival thing before they're going to go out there and drink their potions and become warriors. I'm assuming drinking their sequence potion to become Beyonders. But yeah, they end up taking him to this old chamber where he finds his mom and dad infected. And this is where he finds out that their ritual, the thing that was told to them to do by their god, was to essentially have to take the lives of those closest to them. That this is sort of a rite of passage for Derek, is that in order for him to become a warrior, he has to kill his family. Which, again, that begged the question mark of, like, was this intended then? Because it seemed like he was supposed to become a warrior already. They were supposed to do this ritual, and he was supposed to go take his potion. Why is this suddenly all lining up perfectly here? I don't know. It seems oddly timed. I don't think that Lovia is going to be a bad person, but damn, that's again convenient. It seems extremely convenient. Now, here's the interesting thing. It said in the past, evil spirits almost caused the fall of the City of Silver. The only solution was their lives to be taken at the hand of a family member. Again, this gets into the idea of the ritual itself to become a warrior, like this rite of passage they're doing here. They want Derek to take up the sword, finish the lives of his family, and then they're basically passing on the baton. Your parents want this for you. And sure enough, he looks down at his parents. His parents are like nodding at him, like, yeah, sure enough, go ahead. Go ahead, son. Which, that whole thing was just, Happy Father's Day, by the way. Freaking Lord of Mysteries over here going, hey, Happy Father's Day. Take the life of your dad. Yeah, it wasn't a very comfortable scene to watch. But that aside, what I'm getting at here is the evil spirits part and the mention of, like, them turning and all that kind of stuff. It all kind of really does make me kind of think of this in the perspective of Season 1. A lot of what happened in Season 1 was an emphasis on Beyonders losing control of themselves. Like, Neil and whatnot, and Neil's friend Haver. Like, all these individuals that were Beyonders that at some point lost themselves, and then their fellow Beyonders had to finish them off. I'm wondering if there's a correlation here of these individuals all not really developing their powers as Beyonders in a proper way. And that's why this land of Forsaken is so screwed up. There's so many beasts and monsters in these lands because there's so many Beyonders that have lost control in these lands. And again, as he's saying here, the only reason they were able to sort of keep the City of Silver from falling, the family members basically killed their family members that were Beyonders that went out of control. That's where I'm sort of getting at. I don't know. That would imply that specifically this infection is just the Beyonders going out of control. But I don't know. That's probably way too much of a stretch, but just sort of a theory that kind of came to mind. Could essentially this land be so cursed because it's much easier to lose control as Beyonder? But yeah, he finishes off his family members, takes the crystal ball that was given to him by Lovia from his parents. He prays to it, and sure enough, it gets through decline, and he chooses the sun. It's kind of cool to finally get exactly why he chooses the sun. I mean, you can get a grasp of that from that little snippet. This is the land of Forsaken, full of darkness. It's a symbolism that he's going to be the sun for his people, which is cool. I'm curious to see more of him, and of course him returning back to his land, because he's going to. Once he's done talking there, he has to go back to his land. It's not like he moves from there. Just so to see sort of what he does to sort of save his people. It's going to be very interesting what sort of power he can sort of be granted, what information Clang can give him that will aid him, probably using him to find out where the land of Forsaken is and be able to get there. But pretty cool stuff. Anyways, that is Lord of Mysteries special episode 1. I'm excited to see the other 2 episodes they're releasing, I think, over the next couple weeks. So I'll be here for them. So when they do come around, look out for the channel. I'll be posting the video on them probably within a couple days, depending on when they actually release. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. Until next time, you'll take care.